What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Bob Arum. Bob Arum states this. He says, "It's against my economic interest, but I'm rooting for Usyk to beat Joshua." Top-ranked boss Bob Arum is willing to bypass the biggest boxing match in British history for his own rooting interest. The 89-year-old co-promoter of Tyson Fury would prefer to see Alexander Usyk beat Anthony Joshua on September 25th rather than have Joshua beat the WBO mandatory challenger Usyk to help set up the super fight against Fury, should the WBC heavyweight champion also beat Wilder on October 9th. And this is what Bob had to say. He stated, "Usyk is a friend of mine because he is Vasily Lomachenko's friend. He is a terrific guy, funny, articulate, and smart." He said, "It's against my economic interest, but I will be rooting for Usyk in the fight. I just can't help myself." Usyk is not promoted by Top Rank, but it's often seen ringside at company shows following fellow Ukrainian countryman and Olympic gold Lomachenko. Both fighters also share the same manager, Ingus Klimas. Arum, alongside of Frank Warren and Joshua promoter Eddie Hearn of Matchroom, have already struck a two-fight pact in March to pit Fury and Joshua for the heavyweight marvels. In May, Fury prematurely announced in August 18th to fight Joshua in Saudi Arabia. Days later, the arbitrator, of course, came in and ruled Wilder. So that fight happened, and we know the rest of the story. Let me counterpunch. First of all, I don't think it's against Bob Arum's economic interest. Okay, I think he's just saying that. I know for a fact, if you know anything about Bob Arum, I do think he has a good connection through Vasily Lomachenko, because Lomachenko is good friends with Usyk. They're both Ukrainian. So you can see how the common or the mutual friend between the two brings them together, you know? And everything Bob Arum says about Alexander Usyk is true. He is funny. He's very funny. Articulate, you know, he kind of has the humor like Buster Keaton, you know, like silent films, because he doesn't really speak English, but that doesn't mean he's not a humorous person. He does stuff all the time, you know, and like he did with Tony Bellew, you know, in their build-up. It was joke after joke after joke and prank after prank after prank. Yeah, he's a very funny guy, very likable guy. Bob Arum is 100% spot on with that. You know, however, what you also know about Bob Arum is Bob Arum's history of fighters that he once promoted, he doesn't really care for. He doesn't really care for Andy Ruiz, and ever since Ruiz stuck it to Anthony Joshua, he has always had his doubts about Anthony Joshua. Okay, he didn't believe that he was going to whoop him in the second fight, and even when he did, he lost faith in the British fighter. Okay, he even thought that Pulev was going to be the answer to the mediation between Wilder and Fury, because once you beat Joshua, it won't really matter, because then you won't have to fight for the undisputed fight, because my fighter will have that, and you guys can do whatever you want to do. But that didn't happen either. But that did not make a believer out of Bob Arum, did it? No, it did not. Okay, so Bob Arum is going down the line of the opponents that that comes in the way of Joshua, that will be the next Andy Ruiz. Do you know why? Because Bob Arum doesn't want to be caught with his hands down anymore. He doesn't want to believe in a fighter that's not his anymore. I think he has it in for Joshua, because he just doesn't believe that Andy Ruiz, having once been with him, could do something that unbelievable to someone if they're that good. Okay, that's how Bob looking at it. And Bob's too old for talking about economic interest. He has a hunch. He has a hunch. That's Bob Arum. But it all came from Andy Ruiz. Okay, so that's what that is. You know, and if you know, if Usyk fights and beats Joshua, there won't be any of that Fury fight anyway. I don't know what else he has up his sleeve, but that's that. You know, boxing kind of has like a one-hit opportunity on it anyway. Maybe two. Look at Pulev. That was his second time against Joshua. First time against Vlad, second time against Joshua. You hardly ever hear Bob talk about Pulev at all anymore. Okay, so there you go. But yeah, him saying that I'm going to go with my gut, he's always been against Joshua ever since he got beat by Andy Ruiz. Okay, and his relationship with Andy Ruiz has foiled miserably over the years. Okay, so there you go. A guy that I used to promote that I couldn't really stand and gave up on became the man without me. Okay, any promoter with the reputation that Bob Arum has should feel some type of way about that. Okay, so he might be a little livid about Andy Ruiz paying off his contract and pulling really a Floyd Mayweather Jr. in retrospect and doing something much, much bigger with his rival promoter, Eddie Hearn. Yeah, that would make Bob Arum mad, because Bob Arum had nothing to do with that. In fact, he helped that along by allowing Andy Ruiz to get out of his own contract. Counterpunch. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Bob Arum saying he's rooting for Usyk to beat Anthony Joshua. What else is new? Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.